Okay, on the song, the first verse goes, "Good girl, bad girl, defining what's right, insecurities flashing, things just ain't right. Hashtags, labels, validation through likes, ignored intuitions. Where is our queendom?" So I want to know from you guys, what is queendom to you? Starting with you, Naomi.
Well, I think it's owning your power as a woman, and also knowing that you do have power, because a lot of decisions can be based on what people think about you, what they perceive about you. But once you have that, once you know that you have ownership of your power, you can make your decisions, then I think that's the beginning of queendom.
Queendom to me is basically a woman who knows her worth, knowing that we're all human and we're all gonna make mistakes, but not allowing those mistakes to hold you back. We're all gonna run into a point in life where we might reach a breaking point, but making it through and past that breaking point and allowing that breaking point to become a valuable lesson, that's queendom.
That's powerful. For me, queendom, I'm gonna still what you just said, is it is self worth, and knowing that, admitting your mistakes and knowing that you are open to change, because I think that's the start of queendom, when you realize I messed up, that I have some fixing to do. So then now you can start on, knowing your self-worth, being confident and knowing that your no's are your no's and your yeses are your yes.
Oh, and let me interject. And
Go
I
ahead.
also think that it's very important to know that in order for you to be a queen is to have the capability to notice the queen in others as well.
That's
You
true.
have to be able to see the
very
queen
true.
in others and help
Yeah.
others get to a high point, and not just be self-absorbed
Right.
and selfish, and know how to build yourself up and yourself only, because that is not a queen at all.
That's true.
So I'm gonna piggyback off that because all you ladies said some great things. I think that right now Queendom is all about building one another up. I think we've lacked speaking to one another. Like before you, hi, good morning, how are you?
That's true.
I think that we need to really start open our mouths and just saying what's right. I mean, sometimes it may not come out the way we want it to, but just saying something. Women are about empowering one another, empowering, being charismatic, being strong, like
Right.
just I'm here, and you don't have to say much. You're here. You're here. A woman is always in the room, no
Right.
matter what. So I think that we need to build each other up, and I
Yes,
think that's
we
what
do.
we're lacking. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Have you ever had your queendom taken away from you, and how did it look like? How did it feel?
Okay, I can start that one. I believe that I don't think that my queendom has ever been taken away. The reason why I say that is that I fight so hard to be strong, to be a woman, to be a black woman, to make sure I carry myself in a proper manner. I think what's the problem now is that a lot of other women have lacked things, and they've made where queendom is like, they're like, a queen, what is that? Like they don't even know. So I think it's more the outside influence that what I'm really pushing against. Like, okay, let me build up these women that I have around me. So I'm battling the outside world, not myself, if that makes any
That makes
sense.
sense. What you guys?
It's a yes and a no. I would say that it wasn't taken away from me only because at that point I hadn't realized who I was yet.
Yeah.
So because I hadn't realized who I was yet, and I hadn't accepted the term of queen, confidence, being self-assertive, I wasn't a queen yet. So I had reached a point where, yes, I allowed others to break me down. And I know that when we as women get together and we talk about being broken, we automatically think of relationship as far as male female. But yes, that happened to me, but also with friendship as well, and allowing
Yeah.
friends to break me down. And it came to a point where I started believing those things that people were telling me about myself, and it came to a point where I had to realize that I was worth more and
Yeah.
gain it back. And now I'm to the point where no matter what I come across in life, yes, I'll make my mistake, but what have I learned from this mistake?
Exactly.
And this mistake will not allow me to see myself any less than who I am today. So
Right.
that's
That's
it.
right. Those are key points that Shannon and you, Michelle, just mentioned about worthiness and also influences, because um, like you mentioned, all of us were raised differently, and it doesn't come to a point where in our age that we find out our queendom. And I like to equate that to womanhood, because growing up, I mean, even in my early 20s, mid 20s, I would not dare say I'm a woman.
Yeah.
It wasn't until my 30s that I can speak confidently and declare that I am a woman, because the decisions I make are clear, yes and no. You know, yes, I stumble with some things, but it's become more assertive.
Yeah.
And also the people around you is an influence on your decisions. So queendom for me equates womanhood to me. Knowing that, okay, I am a woman.
Yeah.
I can say that unapologetically.
For me, I knew how, you know, it looked. I knew how queendom looked. I know how to look confident. I know how to look like, you know, you have self-worth. I knew what it meant as a woman. But then I was realizing, you know, as far as relationships, like, why was I easily broken by this guy? Why was the same, I'm gonna cuss, shit happening to me, you know, all the time? And I was realizing that even though I knew what queendom was, even though I knew what self-worth was, I was letting it go too easily with these guys. So for me, I had to lose it and be numb and cry and all this stuff in order to kind of get myself back together. So now I'm to the point where nobody can tell me nothing, friends, a man, or anything like that, because I know how it feels to be so numb to the point where I'm looking at myself in the mirror and asking, am I a queen? Am I even worth being loved? So then I was just like, you know what? So at the age of, I'm 29 now, at the age of 27, I had to change. I had to do a lot of self-seeking. I did not date. I didn't do much of anything because I had to get my queendom back. Which now I have to ask this question because, you know, we you know, there's nothing wrong with guilty pleasures like Scandal, Basketball Wives. There's nothing wrong with that. But I want to know, has losing your queendom become a trend? Losing your worth, has that become a trend now? Subconsciously, like, of course, you know, the TV shows are not going to be like losing your worth, tune in tomorrow, but has it become a trend when you think about it?
I think it has, because I think that, as sad as it is, women don't want to build each other up. People don't want to be around a positive energy. If you're happy and you're smiling and you're trying to find the good in someone all the time, the first question you're going to get, what's wrong with you? Why you always smiling? I mean, it is
Why you so happy? Why you so beautiful?
Why's your skin glowing?
They don't know how to accept it.
They don't take care of
it. And I remember once I told this girl, and I told this girl, I was like, wow, you're beautiful. And oh, stop. Oh, girl. I was like, wow, you don't know how to accept a compliment? Like, really? That is sad.
Right.
That is really sad. And if I, as a female, I'm giving you an innocent compliment, I can only imagine what a man would have to go through to give you a compliment. And I just think that subconsciously, without us realizing it, yes, queendom is not accepted. Being unworthy is a trend. Whether or not we want to say it, admit to it, it has become a trend.
I really think it's become a trend because I was watching, what's that show name? Oh, Basketball Wives of LA or something. I just randomly watched it. I don't know. I was bored one night and I was just like, let me just watch it. And then I don't know their names, but anyway, it was like, I think it was like 4 girls. I guess they went out for lunch and stuff, and they're all kind of like bragging, yeah, my man cheated, and they're all like happy about it. Yeah, your man gonna cheat on you too, girl. Like there's some kind of, if your man didn't cheat on you, then
you ain't been through.
Yeah, and then they were just, and when they were talking about it, like there was a smile on their face, and I'm just like, I really think you losing your queendom has become a trend because.
I do believe that it's become a trend now for women to just be here. I think that for some reason we lost touch with reality. I really think that, the things that they call it the ratchet that they do, that's become popular. I think because people want to be seen, they want to be heard, and what they don't understand is you can be seen, you can be heard, but what is the message that you're making?
As sacrificing your queendom in order to make your life easy. For example, strippers. I'm sure there are strippers out there. They know, about self-worth, self-love. But because of this economy, it's hard to get a job. Let's just keep it real. Yeah. So they strip. So what are your thoughts of sacrificing your queendom? Is she still a queen, knowing that she knows what she's doing, but she just wants to get some money?
I'll hone in on this one. I think that everybody's going to have a different definition of what queendom is, and not saying that I'm pro stripper, pro porn star, pro sex tape or anything like that, but just to play the devil's advocate, to them, their definition may be to be a queendom may be me having the ability to make my own choices. Because in their eyes, they may be a queen because a stripper, for example, she may be making that ultimate sacrifice to provide for her child. Now, being that I'm a single mother, I'm very sensitive about motherhood and single mothers in general because you never know the whole story. So being a mother, I never knew love the way that I know it now because I have my son. And now that I have my son, I know that there's nothing I wouldn't do in order to provide for him. Forget what I need, my child. Forget saving my face in front of society so that people could respect me, my child. What do I need to do? Oh, I can't get it this way. Let me find out another way for me to do it, all within legal reason.
So when you hear, that's why, just like as you were saying, that's why you really can't be quick to judge. Because everybody has a story.
Exactly.
Everybody.
The thing about the stripper, to be honest with you, I've met a lot of strippers. I know a couple of strippers, and a lot of them stories, their stories are so different. It's like I have one that she just wants to do it. I have another one that she really doesn't want to do it, but that's the only means of making money. There's on YouTube, there's a young lady who's an actual stripper, and she made a poem about it. And basically, overall, she said, "I have a college degree." Now that blew me away because I was like, I understand what you mean by that. I have a college degree. There's no jobs. Loans. I have kids. I have loans. I have a car. I have insurance. I have water, light.
Yeah.
The list goes on. And she's like, the only means is stripping. What am I supposed to do? Am I not supposed to make money?
The first question of what queendom is, and to me, it's confidence. Confident, whatever choices you make,
right?
Everything,
point blank.
The way you walk, the way you talk, everything.
So on that note, on the flip side, if you are in that situation and that's not where you want to be, do whatever you need to do to get out of it, because you don't have to be stuck there. That's all I'll say about that.
Right. Yeah.
And I definitely want to talk about, since we're talking about stripping and stuff like that, sex and being a queen. Because a lot of times, especially as women, if you are too sexual, in society's eyes, you a hoe, or or they want to name call you. But I just want to know, or I'm just curious about your thoughts about, being a queen and being confident in your sexuality. Like, what are your thoughts about that? Like, what goes in your mind when you hear sexuality and just still operating in your queendom?
I think it's a process, because you have to, if we're talking, sexually, and you have to know your physical body and being comfortable with it first. So I'm okay with self-stimulation and
Is that too much? Okay,
I know there's a stigma behind the word masturbation, but I choose to say self-stimulation. And you have to, as a woman or as a girl, getting to know her body that is maturing and developing, and you have to get to know it, especially if you're, if you're going to get into sexual activities with another partner. First, know your body first. So that is a part of ownership and power. and also being prepared when it's time to get into that act. It's not always the man to bring a condom.
That's true.
And to
Bring a
be
condom.
prepared
Exactly.
to have a condom. I think a
Always.
woman,
Yes.
it's about responsibility.
Yes.
A woman should have that, and that's what I was saying in the beginning about
Yes.
Queendom being about empowerment and knowing that you do have power to make those choices, because there are female condoms.
Yeah.
There are things. So if you are going to be if you're going to make the decision to be sexually active and to prevent pregnancy, bring your condom. Have a female condom. Go to the drugstore and be prepared. That's why the word casual sex, I really don't buy it so much, because a woman cannot just have sex and leave. I mean, as much as you say, no, we just friends, friends with benefits, we just kicking
Somebody
it.
always gets
At a point, there's always somebody that's going to get attached at the end. So
I feel like in a way we're almost competing with,
The ratchets.
with the ratchets.
Yeah, we
You know,
are.
because it's harder. Because it's harder for mothers. It's harder for the fathers. It's harder for the teachers, because you coming up, you go to class, and then the things that these little girls are saying, even 5, 6-year-olds, you're like, God, it's hard. So,
I think now, young society, they have so much capability to get in, like, the internet,
yeah.
the phones. I mean, they know how to use their pons and
Better than
iPads
us, yeah.
better than their parents and stuff.
I'm looking around and I see natural hair, and I'm just honestly, I was like, am I gonna wear my wig today? I was like, nah. I was surprised. I was like, I'm going to show. The braid on was really nice, and they hang a little bit. I got the little hang thing. I was like, I'm definitely showing my hair today. So I'm looking around and I'm seeing, my sister with the TWA. Michelle's rocking the fro.
Yeah.
I'm rocking, like the what do you call this?
frohawk.
Frohawk. And you rocking the points. I don't know how you got your edges slicked, but
hair is natural also, but I love for my hair to like look some type of way.
Yeah.
And then I love the natural look, but my hair just don't. You see how her thing?
yeah, I know. So my question is, when you decided to become natural, were you afraid to oh my goodness, how are guys gonna look at me, or how are girls gonna look at me, or how is my father, my brother, how are people in general gonna look at me? How did it feel? When you started accepting your natural hair,
Right.
did you feel now I'm operating in my queendom, I'm feeling good? How did it feel?
Yeah, I would say it made me feel different, out of the box.
Yeah.
And I'm looking back and I'm like, wow, my edges were smooth.
Yeah.
At the same time, it was
Yeah.
flat. So for me, it was a different look. It was a choice, because for me to get to the point of having natural hair was a process, because I was going from straight up box relaxer, going to the salon, and then going to organic relaxers. So it was like, okay, I think I'm slowly making that decision, and then just went ahead with it.
So how do you feel now? Because you rock.
I feel confident. I have to say, because when I went natural, I was doing transition. I just let my relaxed hair grow out. But I have to, when I cut all my hair off, I felt like the top of the world. I really did. I didn't look like everybody else. It just made me feel and that was another, I tell my sister that all the time. It added to my queendom, to my womanhood. It was like, wow, I stand out, I feel taller, I feel confident. It feels good. You see my face, you see me. So that's how I felt with my look, my
last
hair.
night.
So,
thank you. But I went last night. I went to this karaoke place, and then I was the only one rocking this hairstyle.
Yeah.
And this girl, she came up to, she says, "Go on with your Solange no self." And she said, "I love it." She said, "You the only one who's rocking your natural hair? And she just thought, like, literally, she was like almost kind of following me.
So you're a stalker.
I was like, yeah, okay.
Okay, keep moving.
But it was just, but it's amazing how, like, you know, when you're natural, like, I just feel like you stand out. Like, every time I see a natural hair person, I just, like, there's just something about them. So, how about for you, Michelle? How did it feel?
Oh my gosh, I've been natural now for 5 years, and I would say I've tried it before, and I was like, oh hell no, and I went and again. I was like, no, and then after I had my son, I stopped putting a relaxer because I heard it was unhealthy during pregnancy. So I was like, okay, and I had him. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to see how long I can do this. If it bothers me, I'll just put a relaxer. But I would say for the first couple of years of being natural, I never let my hair out. I always had some weave in, some braids in, because I didn't know what to do with my hair. You know, when you're growing up, your mom, being Haitian, all she did was put the doo-doo plastic in the barrettes and stuff. So now that you're an adult, you like, what I do?
What I can't do it.
So all I was doing was putting in weaves, and you know, if I didn't have a weave in, like if I was in between the weave, I would not let a dude see me. Because it's like, no, it's like, I don't know how he gonna see, you know. But now I don't know what happened. I was telling you this before. I took out a weave, and I was on a vacation from work, and I was going out on a date. And I untwisted my hair, and I was like, oh shoot. And then ever since then, it's like, boom, I'm natural. This is what it is. And I think being natural adds to my confidence.
Yes,
I don't know what it is.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
This is what we're supposed to be. I have no idea, but it just adds to my confidence. And I think women who aren't natural, they somewhat envy natural sisters, because they wonder how you're able to rock it. Like, dang, you always got stuff you doing with your hair. And then like, oh my God, I can't wait. And then there were so many women at my job. It was only maybe like 3 of us who were natural. And then all of a sudden, now everybody done did a big chop, and it was like,
and it's getting more embraced.
Especially
in the corporate world.
Thank God.
It's crazy because my natural came like unexpected. I've always wore weaves. Like I played basketball, so I had to have my hair either braided or something of that nature. So it's been about 2 years now, and I stopped putting perms in my hair just because I was like, just didn't want to do it, and I put it in a weave, and then I'm like, dude, I'm breaking out and all this craziness. I'm like, okay, let me take it out. Then I put in pigtails, which are very small, you know. I mean, 2 days of pigtails, and all of a sudden my hair, like, I'm breaking out, like my face, literally, I have patches on my head, like breaking out, and I'm like, okay, let me take this out. So, long story short, I can't even put weave in my hair unless I have a perm in my hair. And I never realized that the perm protects your body from the weave, because the weave has all this dye and all this other stuff. So now that I'm natural, I like it. I came across a situation like maybe 2 weeks ago where I'm working with this lady, and she tells me we have a huge meeting. She's like, oh, but you know, well, actually she called someone else to call me about my hair, because when she seen me, my hair was like huge, like it was so cute. So you know, and I'm like, yo, I got natural hair. You should want to embrace me a little bit more.
Yeah.
So she's like, no, we need you to be a lot more polished, you know. And I'm like, okay, what does polished mean when you have natural hair? Because to me, this is polished. I don't know what's up. So it kind of made me come back like, oh wow, so everyone doesn't like natural hair. And this is I think for myself, I had to be in touch with who I was. And to me, it didn't matter whether or not I had natural, I had weave in my hair. I was always confident. I was always assured of myself. So it was like, but I love it. I don't have to worry about nothing. If I want to throw it back in a ponytail or make it big,
if I want to wet it,
it is what it is.
I wear no shower cap.
she doesn't. Yeah, I have to.
Like, no.
Yeah, she sure doesn't. I've been natural for it's gonna be 4 years in June, and I'm gonna say I love it. And if I do wear weaves or braids, I still want that natural.
Kinky,
Yeah, I still want that
curly.
kinky
Yeah.
look. I was looking at pictures the other day of when I was relaxed, and I was like, ew. I was like, I mean, I was still right, but I was just like, this is so not me. And then when I had decided to, shave my sides, I was like, I don't know if it's okay. It was my sister's idea, and when I did it, I don't know, something just made me feel like I am a queen. I was like, I just something about it that just was like, I love when I go out. Yeah, rebel. Yeah, and when I go out and then when people just look at me, they just don't know what to do.
Yeah,
They're like, because I wear glasses, I'm short and I'm nerdy, but then you see these tattoos and these sides and just like, okay, how do I take this girl? But then but I like it. Even when I used to work at University of Miami, I would come to work just like this, and I remember, and I thought that was going to be a problem because you have to look professional, especially at UM. And then I remember one time I had braids and I covered my sides, and then my boss, she was like, what are you doing, Tamika? I said, what happened? She said, no, that's not you. I need to see your sides.
Wow.
And then so I did this. She's like, now that's so it's now like I'm loving the fact that some people are embracing. Some people are. It's taking some time. But I'm glad that they're embracing natural hair, and I'm so glad too that men are, because when I became natural, my hair looked like my sister. I was rocking. Well, I didn't really rock it as much, but my hair was looking like yours. And then I remember I went to some store, and then I was like, I'm just gonna see how this looks. And then this guy was like, okay. And then this guy was like, are you from Africa? And I said, no, I'm from Miami. She's like, and then they started talking in Creole, and I understood what they were saying.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, she's from Africa and this and that. Look how the way she looks. And I'm just like, the funny.
I really like that because that's who you are.
Exactly.
In the morning,
Exactly.
that's who you are. That's what they like
I
to
woke
see.
up like this. This is how I really wake up. I got
My opinion on it. I remember, I think it was last year, I went to a seminar, and it was a psychologist. He lives up in Detroit or whatever, and he's pro-natural, pro-black. He's like a pan-Africanist. If y'all don't know, the ones that feel like we need to go back to Africa now that they don't welcome us here or whatever. So he was like, fellas, let me tell y'all, if you ain't never had a handful of that black chicken nappy hair, then you ain't lived. I'm like, yes! I was like, yes, but like you said, I didn't think people really acknowledged it, but now I feel like those who aren't envy us, because you have to be confident to rock it. You have to be confident because as much as we like to say we're modern now, not everybody's acknowledged it, not everyone's comfortable with it.
And we're gonna do closing statements. And the verse 2 of the Queendom song is, I wrote, Father, brother, where is our honor? False intentions, our heart has turned gold. Reflection, change. Now it's time to elevate. Fix your crown, sister. Now there's your queendom. And I want to know from everybody, what would you say to a younger you? And what would you say to those who are watching? Starting with Naomi.
Oh man.
Oh, you want to think about it a little
No,
bit?
because that's gonna make me cry.
Oh.
If I would talk to my younger person,
Go ahead, let it out.
I would tell her to love yourself and be confident with the decisions. Don't second. How do you say? Second guess. Thank you. Don't second guess your instincts, things that your parents have taught you, and to stand firm with your decisions and be assertive. There's more things I would tell my younger self, but those would be the key points. And also you're gonna make mistakes. Don't learn from it. Don't condemn yourself for it. Learn from it and grow from it, and then you'll teach younger women to make better decisions. So it would definitely just, confidence, love, and assertion. Yeah.
For me, my younger self, I would say accept who you are. Don't fight it. You're weird for a reason. You don't fit in for a reason. And it's okay. And everybody else who isn't weird is because they're hiding their weird.
Yeah.
So it's okay to be who you are.
Yes.
I would say learn from your mistakes. Don't beat yourself up for your mistakes. Be wise. Take the advice of others, but take the good and leave the bad. And learn life for yourself. And no matter what happens, just keep your head up high, because whether they want to acknowledge it or not, they are looking up to you.
Yeah. Wow, that's powerful. Go ahead, Channing. I'm gonna go last.
What I would say to my younger self, to stop listening to everyone, and and not worry about what is the trend of that time. I was always different, so just be different. That's just what it is,
Right.
and accept that. To accept who I am.
Yeah.
That I don't look like everybody. I'm not going to sound like everybody. I'm not doing the same thing as everybody.
Right.
And just to live with that, and to motivate myself to be who I am to other people, and not hide behind others.
Exactly. Yeah.
I would definitely say to my younger self to love all of you, all your curves and all my edges, everything, all my perfect imperfections. Just love yourself and to not be easily moved. Because I saw myself when I was younger, I was easily moved. I was quick to be depressed. I was quick to have a pity party. I wasn't having faith in God. And I realized the power of loving yourself and taking care of yourself spiritually, health-wise, everything. And I would definitely tell my younger self, just as you said, you're not weird. There's a reason why you talk like this. There's a reason why you sing like this. There's a reason why, the sun has tanned me a little extra. So there's a reason why I am Tamika. And I just want to say thank you guys for this. And this has blessed me in so many ways. I'm just gonna be walking. And people be like, what are you doing? I'm like, well, I had a round table.
And it was a
Queendom.
great one.
And it's so powerful, because when you realize the hurt that you've been through, you realize this was me. This is what I did. It just even talking about it's giving me goosebumps. Like, this was me. I used to be that broken person. And then you look at yourself in the mirror right now and you see that you are so warm and so you still have a lot of learning to do, obviously, but you're whole. I'm still standing. You know how powerful that is. Yeah, I'm not broken.
Defining what's right, insecurities flashing. Things ain't right. Hashtags, labels, validation through lights, ignored intuitions. Where is our queendom? Where is our queendom? Where is our queendom?